coaching a very competitive performance. Maybe just what pleased you most with that?
Yeah, I think in comparison to probably other performances, we were very collective in this performance, in particular in that first half. Before the game got a bit loose and got untidy. I thought, in particular, the forward pack brought it. Yaku was scrumming with two 21-year-olds on the other side of him, so there's a lot to be said for that. We obviously were excited for them, but yeah, I think the pack really brought it. We were direct. They got us game line. We're able to get a couple of more or two. We got some reward at the scrum of maybe not getting early days some reward, but all in all, I think one, collectively we played well. Two, I thought more than anything, I thought the forward pack initially brought it, so we were able to get ascendancy.
Maybe just what do you make of the evolution of this team, this Lions team, like you say, that was between the Wales and the inside, just how this team has been progressing, even seeing that you're seeing.
Yeah, look, obviously my job is to, as a guy who coaches the juniors here and a little bit of the senior team, is to try and find and build a pipeline for the franchise. But in terms of evolution, I can't take too much for that. It's guys like him, who maybe other guys are taking a rest or doing a preseason at other franchises. He's put his hand up voluntarily to be available and play and use this as a preseason for the UFC. So there's quite a big job for these guys who, to, like I said, bring those youngsters through. I mean, if you think Aref's come on Asia Kotsa, just 2 months ago we're playing in the Under-21 Currie Cup or Championship. So, it's challenging, but we've got to see how we go week by week and try and get them ready to make the step up at some point.
Coach, how big a boost is it to have the likes of the Ventures and the Horse coming back as Springboks into this group? How much has that done for their confidence as well?
Yeah, ironically, Fent is only 22 years old, Ken Horn's only 22. They were eligible to play under 21s last year, and so these are the age mates they're playing with. If you think some Bronson and Mills, Kelly Mbeku, those guys played with them, if that makes sense. So it's a hell of inspiring. But there's work to do. I thought Ron Fent was outstanding today, but there's work to do with all of them, Kern Horn included. Even though he's got 50 URC caps, or first-class games rather, for the Lions. There's still work to do. So, and this is part of what our Currie Cup job is. Someone asked us at the beginning, what's the job? And the job is we're going to try, if we can go as deep as we can, but also make sure that there's a bit of a pipeline for the URC coaches.
And you're not a team that struggles to get quite a few points on the board. What do you attribute that to? Is that a coaching philosophy of yours? You allow the guys to be as free as possible with the ball in hand? Or what do you attribute the amount of points you guys are putting on the board week in, week out?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. I think Chase for him. Yeah.
I haven't thought on that. I think we're actually sticking to our structure, and our structure is actually giving us that points. Yeah, there's a few quick taps and individual brilliance, but most of our tries are actually within our system. If that answers your question.
And then also, Coach, again on your side, the competition opens up. Next week, you get to play guys on the other side of the draw, the legs of the Western Conference. Have you been doing your homework on that side during your passage on this side? And how much are you looking forward to test yourself against another team on the other side of this draw?
Yeah, well, I don't think there's a coach who's not doing the homework. Piano Mnom was a good friend of mine, so he's done really well. And I see they're leading against the Griffins already, so they're going well. Cheetahs are playing an unbelievable brand of rugby at the moment. Nagati tough, and Western Province always good, right? We watched them actually before our game last week. Really talented players. So the Currie Cup is really strong at the moment. Like you say, it's cross pool, so we'll get a better indication of how strong either pool is.
Amongst the squad, there's a lot of talk about the young guys around you. You're playing with these guys. What's your feeling? Is there confidence that they might be young, but they are able to compete and try to push as far as they can in this competition? Or is it just a matter of a learning curve and see how far you can go?
No, I wouldn't say it's a learning curve. I've actually said it in a few post-match interviews that this is a senior competition, so you have to make that step up, and I think they are doing that at the moment. So yeah, really proud of them.
Coach, do you also want to comment on how Bronson van Zyl played today?
Yeah, again, he's one of the guys we're excited to see what he can do at this level. Flav, probably not his preferred position as he grows older. As a schoolboy, he played as a 10. But one or two things to work on. You know, we are on our fourth Flav, but I think the guys on the field, Yaku, Nico Steyn, and Darren, sort of, you know, kept him in check. He's an expressive player, who's really talented. So the challenge for us at the Lions is to, one, find the right position for him, and two, just nurture that so that he too can also show what he can at this level and maybe at URC level.
Okay, and based on the two results against the Pumas this season, would you say you worked out how to beat them? Because in the past we did struggle a little bit against them in the recent past.
Yeah, I wouldn't say worked out. I think just I challenged the group really hard, particularly emotionally, on arriving with a really good mindset. In fact, on both occasions, across in Mbombela as well as this week. And I think the guys arrived mindset-wise. I think we're a lot better than what we've been in years gone by, and that's for a whole variety of reasons. But I think our mindset against them is a whole lot better. They're a good team. Them and the Griquas, they're actually a team. You know, they've spent lots of time together. If you look at the time they spent in the SA Cup together, so yeah.
And then looking forward to the Western Province match coming up, would you have preferred a bit of a tighter match today?
No, we in rugby 1, 2 in just in this competition, we wanted to play well. We didn't want to walk away and say we, you know, rue a couple of chances that we did. So we'd rather have a quality performance and then let them come here and try and match that. Having said that, they're a good team. I've coached a couple of those dogs, JC Mars, Josh Bull, and you see Angelo Davids. I see Devon Fuller's playing. So they've also got some really good youngsters coming up. And you throw in a couple of experienced guys, Kara and Vernon and those guys. So I think it's going to be a tight matchup next week.
Okay, and then my last question, are there any guys from the URC that you might use in the last 4 matches coming up?
Yeah, look, I think importantly, the URC is obviously the flagship competition and flagship team of the Lions. So we're going to try and fight with these guys as long as we can. For Yaku and them, it's obviously a bit of a preseason, but credit to them, they're invested in the comp. You know, for the young guys, we've got to see how deep we can go into the comp. So the URC guys aren't really going to play. They'll prep hard, and you know, we've got a really, from a URC perspective, a tough opener. The Sharks away, and yeah, no one has to speak about the caliber of player the Sharks can field.
Thanks.
Happy? Thanks, guys. Jaco, Coach, cheers. Thanks very much.